Welcome back to the channel, and today we are doing something a little bit different with obviously the career mode series done on the second channel now with Barcelona winning the quadruple with Lionel Messi one last time. We now pretty much have this entire week all the way up into the release of FC 25 on September 20th for early release. This channel would be a ghost town, so we are going to do at least a rebuild per week. I'm going to aim to do a rebuild per week here. I'm going to try some new stuff here. I'm going to try some new editing, so we'll see what happens here. This is kind of an experiment for my main channel and this channel come FC25 release. Today we are starting off with Everton. We are doing an Everton rebuild here. They are in the first two games of the season sitting at the bottom of the table. Even with Ipswich in the Premier League, they sit bottom of the table, conceding 7 goals, scoring 0. They have attacking problems. They obviously have defensive problems, and we are here to try and fix it. Now, on here, I did all the all the signings that was possible, all the signings that I could do. I did them, which was all of them. All of them that signed with Everton in the summer are at Everton, and everybody that got released or sold from Everton are now gone as well. So Dele Alli, Andre Gomez, they're free agents. Onana, he's at Aston Villa. That's the biggest loss for Everton this entire season. That's why they've been struggling so far. They really don't have any more midfield presence. Here you can see we have a 4-1-2-1 or 4-3-1-4 kind of formation here, 4-1-2-1-2 wide, where we have 2 strikers, and that's because we have actually quite a few striking options here. We have Calvert-Lewin and Beto. We also have Neil Mape, who's on the reserves. We're going to look to sell. We have Tremente, who we're going to look to loan. And then we also have Ndiaye, who just came in for Everton here in the summer. We also have Irugabanan, who is going to be loan listed this first season, who just came in. We had O'Brien, who, if things go right, Tarkowski is on Transfer Hub. As far as what I'm looking to improve on this team in this first season, I want a new CDM that could rule the CDM midfield, because Idrissa Gueye is old and terrible. Iruman is too young and not good enough yet. We desperately need a right midfielder because Mills just isn't going to cut it. We need a new right back because Coleman and all of our other options here is Young, Patterson, John, just not going to cut it. Mikalenko can stay for now, but we might have to look to improve on him in a sooner date. We could even improve on Jordan Pickford as well, because Jordan Pickford, maybe we'll see what happens with him. There could be a certain goalkeeper that is not part of their first team anymore, or at least the starting team anymore in their club, that we could bring over here, that was fighting with this guy for international game time not only a year ago. I was going to say improve on strikers, but we'll give these two plus Ndiaye another start there. And obviously Lindstrom is on loan, so we're going to try and keep him on loan. Now, I did do it on transfer, not through like the actual settings. I did it through the game mode on the mods on live editor, so I did the transfer fees and all that. So we actually end up having 170 million with the players that we spent. We spent 56 million, you see there, and then the sellings we made, I don't know, 60, 70 million, some shit like that, 80 million, just net profit there. We have a couple players on the transfer hub that we are going to look. Reece Nelson as a possible right winger, Irakunda as a young right midfielder that we could bring in and loan out. Amadou Zojic, who's in the championship. Yeah, we have Ashton Young, who was in actually in the Premier League with Burnley last season. Back now at Stade Rennes, we could bring him in, and then Berger, maybe even Adam Wharton. We have some options here. We have some money to spend. Let's see what we do. And our first signing is to solidify that defense, hopefully. Ashley Young, who spent the last season on loan at Burnley, is now back in the Premier League, this time with a more prestigious Premier League club in Everton. Prestigious is a long shot, but Ashley Young, welcome to Everton Football Club. Hopefully you can save this team from absolute turmoil. The second player we sign is not hopefully going to be a permanent one for this season. Irakunda, we go ahead and make that purchase. We trigger his 3.2 million release clause. Welcome to the club, Irakunda. Straight to the loan list to try and get you out somewhere to grow, and then maybe come couple seasons down the line, you're a beast for us here at Everton and look to win a Champions League trophy. And the first selling of the club will do is Jensen McAlfay. He has joined LASK for 280K. He just didn't have a future despite being 18. Just didn't have a future at the club. And another player is about to be walking out the front doors here now as well. And that will be Decore, I believe, leaving to go to West Ham for $4.9 million. Getting rid of some of the older guys here. We got to freshen up. We got to youngen it up somewhat. Realism? What's the point of that this late into the cycle? Adam Wharton joins Everton. It might be a step down in his career, but it'll be a massive step up for Everton after losing Onana, replacing him with one of the best next center defensive mids in world football at the moment. Didn't get his time to shine at the Euros for England because Gareth Southgate is a horrible manager, and thank the Lord he's no longer English manager, and I'm not even English. But Adam Wharton joins Everton, and he is our new standard defensive midfielder looking to do something special. And possibly the last signing for this summer window, we are going to go ahead and bring Arsenal Reece Nelson. Now, he did just have a short cameo for Bukayo Saka in their 2-0 win over Aston Villa. It was very short. It was like 4 or 5 minutes plus at a time, whatever that was on. I don't really know if he's part of Arsenal plans or Arteta's plans. At first, I thought he was going to be gone come the end of the summer, and he could be still gone come the end of the summer, come the end of this transfer window. But for now, it seems like he's still somewhat part of Arteta's backup plans. So we are actually going to go ahead and bring him in for $8 million. Reece Nelson joins Everton, and we have a right midfielder. Now, at the moment, this is our starting 11 to go into the team, plus substitutes and reserves and all that. We have yet to loan out Irakunda. We have yet to loan out Irugabanan. So Jordan Pickford in net at the moment. Ashley Young is our right back. Tarkowski will get one more season, at least a half a season. We'll come in January, see what is the situation there. Branthwaite as our marquee center back. Mikalenko out on the left-hand side. My controller disconnected. There it goes. Adam Wharton as our CDM. Reece Nelson, Lindstrom, and McNeil as our kind of attacking midfielder 3. And then our top 2 is Calvert-Lewin and Beto. That's our attacking at the moment. Irugabanan needs to be loaned out, and as well as Irakunda. So we might actually go look out on the hub for some wingers. Tremete gets loaned out for Brentford for a year. We sell Neil Mape. I thought about it a little bit more. I don't want this guy in my club anywhere near this football club that I'm controlling. So Neil Mape sold for $5 million. I do have a replacement coming in for very soon though. And a swap deal has just taken place for 2 different positions totally. We say goodbye to James Tarkowski. He's off to AS Monaco, I believe this is stemming from. He's off to AS Monaco. And in turn, we are getting Hugo Ateke, a 21-year-old striker, 75 overall. He will be a perfect backup for our 2 strikers alongside Ndiaye. Ateke, welcome to Everton Football Club. A swap deal with James Tarkowski. That actually opens the door up for Jake O'Brien to get into the starting 11 now. Bada bing, bada boom. Bingo boom. Frankfurt. Not even AS Monaco at all. It's different division. And so this is kind of how it breaks down here going into the first season. We'll come back in January and boost our squad because, boy, we are going to need to. But we have Adam Wharton join Everton. We say goodbye to Tarkowski. We say hello to Reece Nelson. We say hello to Asing Young. We sell goodbye to Michael Keane to Fiorentina for $5.7 million. We sell Mape. We sell Decore. We sell Idrissi Gueye. We sell Virginia. We sell Warrington. We sell John. We sell Campbell, we sell Hunt, we sell McAlfay. We loan out Irugabanan to Brentford for the season, and Irakunda is down to the championship, going over towards Luton Town for the season. Patterson, a loan to buy with Sevilla, so we might say goodbye to him. Mills gets loaned out. Tremete gets loaned out to Brentford as well. So Brentford actually have a couple of our players. We are going to go into January now and see what these boys are up to, hopefully. Not in a relegation fight. That's the big part there. And we still have over $100 million to spend. And after half of a season, the boys sit in 19th in the Premier League. We are in the relegation zone only by 3 points though, with Southampton sitting in 17th. Ipswich, as expected in real life, are sitting bottom of the table. This time with only 1 win, 3 draws, 16 losses. Top of the table just for fun. Here, top of the table, Manchester City 1 loss. Spurs are in 2nd. Arsenal is in 5th. Now, obviously, all the other clubs don't have their real-life transfers The only one that actually has the real life transfers was us, because it's the only one I did. We have 112 million to spend. It's looking like Lindstrom is playing. It's looking like James Pickford is playing. It's not looking like Ashton Young is playing, which is quite concerning, to be completely honest. I just don't know who is playing for him. If it's Ashley Young, I'm releasing him. Ashley Young, you can get released. A loan report for our two guys. Eric Kunda's +2, Patterson's a +1, and Iruga Manon is a +1 as well. So not really growing too much there. Do I really want to do more business here? I feel like I should, but I'm not going to. And come end of the season, the boys actually survive relegation, just barely survive relegation by 4 points. Fulham, Bournemouth, and Ipswich all down to the championship. So Ipswich is actually the only team that got promoted from the championship to the Premier League to go straight back down, as where Leicester City and Southampton survived. They survived by 7 points there, 5-6 points there. We sit in 16th, so that's honestly not as bad, but not as good. It's a major way to go. Manchester City nearly doing the Centurions again, absolutely dominating the Premier League. They win their 5th trophy. They win their 5th trophy in a row. Technically, it will be the 4th because this is the 1st season. So will they win the 5th season? Let's go and check out our squad, see who the top scorers are. Beto had 15. Calvert-Lewin also had 15. Lindstrom on loan only had 13. Well, had 13 goals. Reece Nelson 10 goals, 11 assists. So he's actually one of the players of the season. Eteke had 5 goals, 2 assists. McNeil, a little bit lackluster out of him this season. 3 goals, 3 assists out of him. Not really what you want. And honestly, this is not what you want as well. Why is Calvert-Lewin only playing 30 games? Ateke's playing 22. I mean, that's fine, I guess. It is what it is. Our loan reports: Irukunda +4, Iruga Manon a +2. Do we have anybody that is leaving the club on the summer? No, only Lindstrom. And I have a replacement for him come the summer. So let's get to it. Season number 2 on the way. 145 million to spend, and that's because we simply didn't really spend much of the money that we had last season, so we kind of still have some of that part of our transfer budget. We're obviously not going to spend all of that because I just don't want to spend all that in one season. It's absolutely crazy, and we're trying to keep this semi-realistic, and we replace Lindstrom with somebody that I'm more familiar with in real life, a local MLS player for myself, Sebastian Driussi, over from Austin FC. Now, actually, in this save, he got transferred over to Brentford, so we're buying him from Brentford, but we are looking at him. We are bringing him in only solely because I know him from Austin FC, and I've watched him play, and he is one of the best camps in MLS. It's unfortunate he plays for Austin FC. It's actually also fortunate that he does play for Austin FC, because at least I get to see him play and shine in my team, because holy cow, is Austin FC horrible. But Sebastian Driussi joins the Premier League again, coming over from Brentford now over to Everton. Welcome to the Blues. Now we are doing probably the most controversial move of this entire save. We are bringing in a new goalkeeper, and as you can see there, it's Aaron Ramsdale from Arsenal. He will replace Jordan Pickford. In fact, it was a swap deal with Jordan Pickford and Aaron Ramsdale plus 15 million. The way I see it, they're both 83 overall at the moment in the save. Jordan Pickford's 30, Aaron Ramsdale is 26. That's the way I see it in real life. Aaron Ramsdale, better keeper anyway. I know he doesn't get the game time anymore for Arsenal because David Raya came in and is a big and better goalkeeper than Aaron Ramsdale. But Aaron Ramsdale is a far better keeper than Jordan Pickford. So welcome to Everton. Hopefully you can keep some more goals out of the back of your net. We say goodbye to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, sold to Crystal Palace for 13.6 million. This will open the gates up for Ndiaye or Iketete to take that starting spot. I butchered his name there, but let's open the spot for them to get that starting spot. Welcome, Leif Davis, joined the squad from Ipswich. I forgot I was doing the reboot for a second. I was just letting it play out for whatever reason. Leif Davis joins Everton now at the start of his career here at Everton. He will simply just kind of be of a backup player, but my plan is to eventually sell Mikalenko if he doesn't improve and impress me. He didn't really have the greatest of seasons, so Leif Davis, put that pressure on Mikalenko. Welcome to Everton from Ipswich Town for 8.3 mil. And we go ahead and bring in a replacement for Dwight McNeil, as he didn't really impress us on the stat sheet at the end of last season. So we go shopping and we find this guy, Loriente. He will join for 22, 23 million, something like that. He will join for quite a few, and he will replace McNeil in that starting 11, and hopefully he can get some goals and some assists and help this squad go up the table. We're aiming for mid-table and above this season. Anything other than that, it's a complete failure, and that will open my floodgates of spending some money. We make one last sign to boost our defensive duties. We bring in Wilfred Singo from AS Monaco or Lyon, one of the two clubs there. I keep saying AS Monaco. I don't know why AS Monaco is constantly in my head today, but it is. Welcome to the club. You'll join for 30-odd million, something like that. And he will be the marquee player. He will replace Jake O'Brien in that starting 11. And it was AS Monaco, 36.7 million. So bit closer to the 40 million mark there. And most of our budget's actually now gone too, by the way. We are now down to 46 mil. And so this is the starting 11 to take on this season. This time we'll go to January and possibly make signings. We have Ramsdale, Young, Singo, Branthwaite, Mikalenko at the moment, Adam Wharton, Nelson, Driussi, Loriente, Beto, and if I had to bet, it won't be Ndiaye, it will be Ateke in that starting 11. Let's see what the boys can do come January. And halfway through the season, West Brom, who just got promoted to the Premier League from last season, are sitting bottom of the table with 0 wins, only 4 draws. Middlesbrough, who also got promoted, is also sitting in 18th. And I'm trying to see who else got promoted, because it's West Brom and Middlesbrough for sure. Who got promoted last season in the game? I really don't know. Oh, Leeds United, they're sitting in 9th, and we are sitting in 8th. We are in top 8 out of the Premier League. We are sitting in top 8. We are 5 points off the top 4. We're actually having an amazing season. Arsenal is making the Premier League a little bit more competitive, tied on points with Manchester City, however, a game in hand. We also actually have a game in hand as well, so we could jump up to 6 with the game in hand, which is against Nottingham Forest. And just for shits and gigs, let's see, do we win that game against Nottingham Forest? No, we don't. Okay, well, there goes that. Let's do a squad recap here, squad reround, see who's scoring the goals. Loriente, our signing, has 10 goals, exactly what you want to see. 10 goals out of Loriente, 7 goals out of Ateke. Reece Nelson is still doing Reece Nelson things. Beto has 6 goals. Driussi is struggling in the goal department, but he has the assist locked down at the moment. Young has 1 goal. Other than that, Ramsdale only has 2 clean sheets, which is quite concerning in all honesty. Don't think we really need to make any signings, so I'll see y'all in the end of the season. West Brom do end up winning at least 2 games, but they finished on one of the worst totals in the Premier League history. You can see they're not in the top 13 or in the bottom 13, so there's good for that, or the bottom 7, I guess I should say, bottom 8, 7. We have finished in 11th. We finished mid-table region, a little bit lower than mid-table, but that mid-table region, so it's at least a step up from last season. Point total, we add 20-ish to the point total there. 54, we're off top 5 by 10, so we're not too far out, but we're still quite a far ways out. Arsenal, despite the fact Man City absolutely dominated the Premier League last season, Arsenal finally get that league win. Could this be realistic as well? At least these top 2. I don't know about Newcastle or Aston Villa being in the top 4, but could this be realistic? It could. Top goal scorer, our new signing, Loriente. I love when a signing like this works out. Loriente, 21 goals, 6 assists. Beto had 14. Ekete had 14. This is just a random signing. I mean, this was a signing in disguise. Didn't even have him on my radar. They came in with they wanted Tarkowski. They wanted an old guy to replace a young guy. I'll take that every day of the week. It's a no-brainer. Driussi, 12 goals, 5 assists. Not the best department. 134 million to spend, and I plan to spend it. We want European football come the end of this 3rd season, so we might have to spend some big bucks. And I'm looking possible striker replacement, possible Driussi replacement, maybe a half-failed experiment there. Maybe a new right back, maybe a new right midfielder as well to replace Reece Nelson. I probably should have done this come the actual second season, come last season, is to bring him back because he had a great loan spell with us. And now, after a season of not being at the club, he's actually exploded from 77 to 82 overall, so +5 overall in one season. Lindstrom, welcome back to Everton, this time on a permanent fee for $33 million. You will replace Driussi. You're younger and you're better. Driussi, half-field experiment. I just seen him. I wanted him, and I probably should have bought in Lindstrom from the start, but welcome to the club now. And we improve our striking situation, but we also have now a bunch of strikers. We're going to have to sell one or two of them. We welcome in Valise, this time from Tottenham. But he has spent his career as an Argentine striker. I mean, he's still an Argentine striker. Not really getting the glory under the Argentine national team. He's young. He might be next up in a couple of years, a couple World Cup, maybe not 2026, but 2030. We can definitely see him as part of a key figure for the Argentine national team. Welcome to the squad for $30 million roughly. I tried to swap him with Beto. They didn't want Beto. They didn't want any of my strikers. So it's just straight cash. Welcome to the squad for $30 mil. I don't know if this was muted, so if it wasn't, just cut this out. Or if it was, cut this out. We go ahead and bring in Alejo Valise over from Tottenham for $30 million. We try and swap him with Beto. We just couldn't do it, so we improve our striking situation by spending some straight-up cash, $30.6 million. Welcome to the squad's Valise. You will replace Beto in that starting 11. We are going to look to now sell Beto as well. We boost our defense with the youngest prospect that's originally from Manchester City. He has now moved over to Real Madrid in this save. Rico Lewis will join the squad. Now, this deal did include a swap deal with Mikalenko plus $25 million. So Mikalenko leaves the door. Leif Davis is now the starting left back. And Rico Lewis will be our starting right back. We say goodbye to James Gardner for $6.2 million. I believe he was actually holding back Wharton from playing. Nathan Patterson leaves the club for $5.7 million. We don't need him as a backup right back anymore. Beto has been sold for $20.7 million over to West Ham. Obviously, his services are no longer needed. Eteke and Mr. Valise is our starting strikers. And now halfway through the season, the boys are sitting in mid-table where he finished last season. We are sitting in 11th. And Leicester City, after getting promoted, they have been flying. They're sitting in top 6. We are 13 points off the top 4. We are 9 points off 5th place Manchester United. We are far off the top mark, and I have a feeling Sebastian Driussi is playing instead of Lindstrom, and that is exactly what is happening, unfortunately. We might have to sell Driussi in this transfer window, so we'll go ahead and transfer list him. Feliz has 11 goals. Loriente is continuing his scoring streak, 10 goals there, and Ekete has 8 goals as well. We get rid of one of our problems as well. Asking Young has been sold for $13.9 million. Rico Lewis now should have full reins of that starting spot. Next up is just Driussi, getting him out the club. And this should be it. Driussi, failed experiment. Unfortunately, we say goodbye to you. You'll move over. Will you stay in the Premier League? Yeah, you'll go back to Brentford. You go straight back to Brentford. So, season and a half away from Brentford and back to Brentford now on a permanent deal. Peace out to you. Now, hopefully, as Lindstrom gets a red card, so he's out for the next game for sure. Hopefully, this team can now just go and be great. Be great. That's all you need to do. Be great. And we finish the season dead smack in the middle of the table. 10th place. We are out of the top 5 by 18 points. I think it might be time to unlock some potential and unlock some money into the squad, and we might have to inject some money. We might have to improve this team more and more. We might have to take the realismness out of the window. Top goal scorer, Valise with 20 goals. Loriente had 14 goals. Eteke had 14 goals. His time might be over. Reece Nelson's time surely should be over. Lindstrom, not the best start to the season possibly for him, but he will continue to grow and hopefully continue to be a vital part of next season. Maybe we drop down to a one-striker formation next season. Season 4 is up and next. And we start the season by bringing in another young central defensive midfielder. Currently at Atletico Madrid, just moving to them in real life over to Atletico Madrid. He's been spending his whole entire save at Atletico Madrid, so now over to the Premier League to join Everton and hopefully become alongside next to Adam Warren as two of the best center defensive mids in the midfield. We are switching our formation, so we need another midfielder presence, and Arthur Vermeeren will do the job there for 37.8 mil. And so here is a new formation. It's a 4-2-3-1. Back to basics, back to just old school stuff. Aaron Ramsdale in net. This is the squad at the moment. Rico Lewis, Singo, Branthwaite, Davis, Vermeeren, and Wharton. Nelson, we're changing. Lindstrom and Loriente, and then Valise gets that knock at the starting striker. We are looking to replace Reece Nelson in the starting 11, and then after that, I'm not quite sure about the starting 11 after that, to be honest, but I know for sure we want to improve on the bench. When you have a 49 rated goalkeeper in Begovic in your bench, that's not good. Eric Kunda just isn't growing. Iruga Banan isn't growing. And DI isn't good enough. So yeah, some free agents are definitely going to have to come into the squad. But Reece Nelson is the first one up next. And I think we go big. I think we make a marquee signing here. We say hello to Johan Bakayoko. He will join the squad from Crystal Palace. We were aiming to go big, and I kind of pulled back a little bit. So we went a little big, but not too massively big on the region that I was kind of thinking I was going. We'll save that until we actually get into Europe. I don't know why I just stumbled there. But Johan Bakayoko will join from Crystal Palace for 56.5 million. Welcome to Everton. Halfway through the season, we are sitting in 9th. We are still quite a way off of the top 4, 15 points in fact. We need a massive run the second half of the season. And a miraculous run happened. 64 points. We sneak into Europe. We have Europa League football up next. Manchester City do this in Thorntons. They only lose one game all season long. 101 points for them. Arsenal finish in 6th. Liverpool, Man United, Aston Villa has been a consistent top 4 finisher there. Everton finish in 5th. Getting relegated is Bournemouth, Southampton, and Wolves. Bournemouth only win one game all season long. Wow. Valise finishes with 21 goals. Loriente had 17. Bakayoko had 13. Lindstrom, 12 goals. Let's get into the next season where we have Europa League football. It's a new season, and we are in Europa League football after finishing 5th in the Premier League last season. I have already started some transfers. You can see we had 244. We had 250. Some of that is gone away. I didn't make actually permanent. Well, I did make permanent signings, but I didn't really sign anyone. I just signed a bunch of free agents here just to boost our squad. So we go here. We have 3 center backs, all in the range from 71 up to 76 with Edson Araujo. We have Sergio Carrillo, who is now 74 overall midfielder. He'll come into the team. He'll be on the bench. Jose Hernandez, Melvin Jacobs, and Jose Manuel Bayeta. They'll all join the squad just as squad depth players. As you can see here, there's a couple options I'm looking at. Maybe making a massive splash in the cash of trying to sign Ibrahim Konate to be our marquee center back. Other than that, Kobe Manu as a backup, Newerton as a backup to replace McNeil because McNeil is on his way out. And I think McNeil did leave for free at the start of this season. So we bring in Newerton as a backup left midfielder for Loriente, and we'll see if we can win the Europa League. But not much signings really need to be done, to be honest, for this team, at least for the Europa League football, because the team is not that bad. It's really not. Our weak point is midfield and defense, kind of. But other than that, our team is growing, and I say that Vermeeren, Wharton, they're young, they're going to grow. Davis, Lewis especially is going to grow. Branthwaite is probably the oldest in that back 4 alongside Singo. So yeah, Bakayoko is going to keep growing. Lindstrom should keep growing. Valise should keep growing. Hopefully still scoring goals. Ramsdale might be on the older age of things, but we can find a replacement for him later down the line if we need to. So I think we bring in Newerton, and then we just sim the season, to be honest. And welcome to the club as a backup winger, Newerton. He'll join for 50-odd million. Welcome to the club. A 50 million backup winger is actually kind of insane thinking about it. But that's the kind of money we're getting into now. Now we are game deep in already, but I wanted to show y'all the Europa League group stages here. We lost our first game to Club Brugge, unfortunately, but we are alongside Apoli and Trabzonspor. So realistically, other than Club Brugge, this should be an easy group, and we should be able to get out of it. If not, hopefully bare minimum a third. That way we can get into the Conference League and at least still have some European competition. We actually had a rough start to the season. We lost to City, we lost to Arsenal, we lost to West Ham already. So a very tough start to the season. Hopefully the boys can turn around come January. Halfway through the season, we did recover after that toughest start in the Premier League. We're sitting now in 6th, tied on points with 5th place. So looking for back-to-back Europa League berths. Let's actually go through the Europa League here. And oh my lord, we won one game, that's it. We get knocked down to the preliminary round of the Conference League. That is insane. So we're in the Conference League and we face off against Antwerp in the Conference League. Okay then, let's do some contracts. Make sure these guys are playing. Where is Wharton? Where's Wharton? Where the heck did Wharton go? Wharton departed. How? Where? When? Did he have a release clause? Rating was he? He at least played half the season. He's 81 overall. Do we go for somebody different then? Okay, well, let's go find a new CDM and oh, look at it. We found a new CDM here. An emergency signing done and dusted. Kobe Mainu. Welcome to Everton from West Brom to Everton. Sideways step in your career, but actually a step up because we're at least in European football. West Brom is in the championship or some shit like that. Kobe Mainu will join, and he will join alongside Vermeeren to now rule that midfield. And in the Premier League, we finish in a Conference League spot. 1 point out of the top 5, and 1 point actually out of the top 4 in the top 3. We were 3 points off second spot. Man City again winning the league in a dominant fashion. A 12-point league win there. And for the first time in forever, Aston Villa aren't in the top 4. They're all the way down in 14th. They had a horrific season. That struggle to get out. So 6th place is the Conference League. Now, if we win the Conference League, or if we had won the Conference League, we'd be back up into the Europa League. When not, we actually got knocked out in the semifinals to Fiorentina 4-1 on aggregate, in which now they are taking on Tottenham in the final. However, so that means we're not in Europa League. But there's one more chance for us to get into the Europa League football once again this season. That is the FA Cup final against Leicester City. Right here, right now. Let's see if the boys can do it. We are just going to quick sim it here. Leicester City versus Everton, and Everton win 1-0. Bakayoko in the 24th minute is enough to get the job done. And we are back into Europa League football. It's time to go big. It's time to make that marquee signings that we need to make to bring this team to that next level. And in fact, before we actually get there, look at Begovic. He's still not retiring. Is he retiring yet? Okay, he's finally retiring, 30 overall. Who's the top goal scorer? Valise had 23 goals, but 0 assists. Man was not passing the ball at all. Loriente, 23 goals, 13 assists. Bakayoko, 20 goals, 7 assists. Were probably the most arguable most important goal of the season in the FA Cup final. Lindstrom, 12 goals. Kobe Mainu, half the season, 4 goals. Leif Davis, 3 goals. He's up to 84. Ketete is up to 80. Vermeeren's up to 85. Single's up to 85. Let's get to the new season. Let's see what the boys can do. And I didn't sign a single player on contract. Thinking about it. Is anybody leaving? Oh, everybody is leaving. Oh, everybody is leaving. Oh, my lord, I fucked up. Oh, my lord, I messed up. Okay, so he's not going. He's not going. Okay. So we at least have something. You can go, honestly. So we're losing our left midfielder. We're losing our striker, backup striker. We're losing our backup center back. We're losing our goalkeeper. That's fine. We're losing our backup right midfielder. All right, then. Yeah. Well, then. Next season's got to be interesting. And with Loriente at the door because I'm an idiot and I've got to do the contracts, we must go sign a new winger. And so, we go sign Suns Regen. And he will join the club for $50 million. Welcome to the club. Hopefully you can get up the market running and do what your predecessors could do, Mr. Heung-min Son. And hopefully win the Europa League this season. Also, in the time between me actually going into the new season, I actually got fired last season, at the end of last season. So yeah, there's that, just for y'all. Goalkeeper roulette goes on again. This time, another swap deal. Aaron Ramsdale will be swapped with Restes. you get older and we bring in somebody younger. This time, hopefully, won't have to bring in another goalkeeper, because if I'm here when this guy is still 30, then the video was a fail and a half already, and I probably already quit the video. Mr. Restes will join the squad, plus Ramsdale will leave the squad, plus 24 million, something like that. Welcome to Everton, Mr. Restes. And with Akete also on the chopping block from last season, we must go sign a new backup striker, and Iker Bravo is that striker. Welcome to Everton for 34.2 million as a backup. And so this is our Europa League group for our second stint in the competition. We have Lyon, Lausanne Sport, and FCSB. Should be able to get out of this group, but we should have been able to get out of the last group, so who knows. Again, minimum third place. Hopefully we at least get second place. Honestly, I'm bound to say minimum second place. Let's see where we're at come January time. Halfway through the season and we are in 8th. We are, what's it back there? 4 points behind top 5, 6 points behind top 4. As far as the FA Cup, just to show y'all, we have Sheffield Wednesday. The Carabao Cup, we're actually in the semifinals, taking on Cambridge. That is an interesting quarterfinal or semi-finalist. They took down Wolves. Let's see, they also took down Salford City, so they had a Mickey Mouse run so far. They beat Norwich 10-9 on a penalty shootout. In round 2, they beat Burnley. That's impressive for them, to be honest. And then Cambridge United, they beat Exeter. So actually quite a Mickey Mouse run. And they could see themselves into the final, but we should be able to take care of business. Do I care about it? No. What I do care about, though, is the Europa League. Are we in the oh my lord, look at that pre-eliminator round. That is actually insane. Lyon from our group is in the pre-eliminator round. Does that mean we finish in first, or do we finish in third? We finished in first, so we skip the pre-eliminator round. We go straight to the round of 16. So we're still in the Europa League after only losing one game this season. After last season, we won one game. But we have Arsenal. We have Arsenal versus FC Porto, the Champions League round of 16 fixture in real life this last season. Newcastle versus Barcelona, that's insane. Tottenham versus Roma. Juventus is in this. That's actually, Atletico Madrid is in this. This is an insane stacked Europa League run that we're going to come by on. Let's go ahead and actually make sure we re-sign players. Now, as far as the Carabao Cup, I'll show you on the simulations there. We won 3-1 in the first leg. We also beat Sheffield Wednesday 5-0 in the FA Cup. So we move on the FA Cup. We have Coventry. But up next for Cambridge United. We're up 3-1 in the first leg. We win 5-2 in the second leg. We are into the final there. We beat Coventry in the FA Cup, so we'll keep going there. I'll show you the final, and then we'll get into Europa League action. So, Carabao Cup final against Arsenal. I'm going to actually sim through it on the actual day here. And then we have Liverpool in the FA Cup. You want to talk about a crazy little cup run there. It's Arsenal versus Everton. The winner gets Conference League at a minimum, and it will belong to Arsenal. Our former player, Loriente, got the scoring off and running there, by the way. 1-0, but we lose 2-0. And just for shits and gigs, Liverpool in the FA Cup, we lose on penalties 3-1. So we're out of both domestic cup competitions. We made it to the final of at least one of them. Now, as far as the Europa League goes, we get Arsenal in the round 16. So we get the team we just lost to in the Carabao Cup final in the round of 16. Look at the preliminary round. Newcastle beat Barcelona. Atletico Madrid got through. Juventus got through. Arsenal obviously got through. Roma beat Tottenham on penalties, and Fiorentina also win as well. So this is still a very stacked Europa League. And we have one of the tougher teams in Arsenal. Where's Arsenal at in the Premier League? They are sitting in 3rd. Wolves are in 4th. Let's see if we can somehow beat Arsenal in the Europa League here. We'll just sim through it on here. And the first leg, we win 2-1 against Arsenal. The second leg, we win 4-3. Oh, I guess that's on aggregate. We draw 2-2, so we win 4-3 on aggregate there. So it does aggregate score. I was about to say we won 4-3. So we're into the next round of the Europa League against Marseille. And let's just sim to the end of the season, and I'll cut in when we're to the Europa Leagues. So here we go. The Europa League first leg against Marseille. We win 3-0 on the first leg. And then on aggregate, we win on a total 5-1. So we win that second leg 2-1, 5-1 on the aggregate. We now have Newcastle in the Europa League semifinal here. First leg, we win 3-0. We're dominating the Europa League here. We are dominating. We win 4-2 on aggregate there. They nearly came back. In the final of the Europa League, it's against Roma. The final is against Roma, so we'll go ahead and simulate through that right now as well. A chance for Champions League football if we're not already in the Champions League. I don't know where we're at in the league, but I doubt it's top 4. So this is for Champions League football. Can we get it done, or will we not? We will get it done on penalties, 3-3 and 4-3 on the penalty shootout. Valise in the 96th minute. And then Okafor tied it up in the 115th to send it to penalties. We move on to the Champions League. We have Champions League football for the first time in forever. And thank the Lord we did, because we finished 8th in the Premier League. Wow, we struggled. 6 points off the top 4. 2 points off 5. So I would say we struggled, but points-wise, it actually wasn't that far off, at least minimum top 5. Man City, again, once winning the league by 11 points this time. 12 points last season, 11 points this season. Going down, Nottingham Forest, Leeds United, and Fulham, Tottenham survive relegation only by 10 points. That is absurd. Let's get into next season. Let's actually see who's the top goal scorer is. I always forget to do this. Top goal scorer, Valise with 34 goals, but once again, 0 assists. The man does not pass the ball, but he's scoring all the goals, so you know what? Do it. Be greedy all you want. Bakayoko had 28 goals and 10 assists. Lindstrom pretty much 15 and 15. And then Newerton had 11 goals, 10 assists. He actually played more games than the regen of Heung-min Son. I totally forgot who the regen was for a second. I have a plan for this, though. I have a plan next season that might just involve losing him. We'll see what happens. We're in Champions League, though. It's starting to turn into a free agent market spree with some of these regens coming into the squad now. We have a center forward, Portuguese, coming into the squad. 86 overall. He wants a crucial. The game gave it to him. Murillo, welcome to Everton. Don't know where you'll play, because you're not going to play a striker for sure. You're not going to play a cam. You're a bench player on a crucial squad role deal, so that's interesting. I'm going to have to change that. And when I said I had a plan for the new left midfielder, it's this guy who I seen right after I bought in the Heung-min Son regen. Ansu Fati is just sitting at Barcelona, running away. So welcome now to Arsenal, to Everton. And you'll be our new left midfielder, because Ansu or Heung-min Son's regen might already be on the way out after only 1 season. And another regen will join the squad. This time, Kevin De Bruyne's regen will join the squad. And we might try and loan him out, because he's 81 overall. We loan him out, and the next season, he could come in and be a different machine. But welcome to the squad for now. And we say goodbye to Son's regen. Young will join Newcastle United for $55.9 million. Ansu Fati, step up now. And Fabian Ruiz, a.k.a. Raji's regen or pre-gen. I don't know if Raji's definitely retired by now. Fabian Ruiz will join from Manchester City for 40-ish million here. And he'll be a backup midfielder for Manu and Vermeeren. But welcome to the squad, Fabian Ruiz. And Lejeune, a.k.a. KDB's regen, has been loaned out. He'll go to Manchester United, hopefully grow over the season, and if we don't win a Champions League this season, which I don't think we will, next season he could be an absolute baller. But now it's time to go see who we get in the Champions League group stages, and then we'll go from there. We also have PSG in the Super Cup. That's interesting. Let's go see who we get in the Champions League groups. And our Champions League group, oh my lord, what a tough group we have. Napoli and Ajax and Bodo Glimt. It's not an easy group at all. The boys are going to have to absolutely put a fight up to at least get to the knockout stages. Again, this time minimum 3rd, and I'll actually be happy with it. Minimum 3rd, we go into the Europa League preliminary round, not the Conference League, the Europa League. But hopefully we can scrape by and get into the round of 16 and get to the knockout stages of the Champions League. Hopefully. We've got to pray. Let's see the boys do something magical here. Through the season, we are sitting in 6th in the Premier League. We love sitting 6th halfway through the season for some reason. Tied on points with 5th place, 4 points off the top 4. 9 points off top spot. Chelsea are looking like they're going to do a possible Manchester City, but Man City are still there. The FA Cup, if y'all care, we start against Brentford. The Carabao Cup, we are back in the semifinals. This time a harder opponent in the semifinals. It's Liverpool in the semifinals. The UEFA Super Cup actually belonged to PSG on penalties, so we lost on penalties there. Champions League group stage, we finished first in our group. How is that possible? We finished first in our group in Champions League group stages. Ajax get knocked down to the Europa League off a goal differential. That is insane. They conceded 2 more goals, so they get knocked down, and we have Bayern Munich in the round of 16. Bayern Munich in the round of 16 of the Champions League. All right then. Well, that's going to be fun. Why is Araujo playing at right back? And why is our right back, Rico Lewis, not playing at right back? I'm convinced these guys get a random release clause, because I don't be putting release clauses on them. I be delegating these deals so the release clauses don't get added on to their 6 months. Oh, that's why. The 6-month bullshit shit. That's exactly why what's happening. So I'm going to have to start doing this at the beginning of the year. Alright, well, Rico Lewis is coming back to the squad. I will bring him back to the squad. Rico Lewis, welcome back to Everton Football Club. Now, before we actually get to the simulations, let's see how we did in Carabao Cup. We lost in the semifinals to Liverpool, actually 4-3 on aggregate. I didn't even see that, to be honest. It's time for Champions League action. Around of 16 against Bayern Munich. Can this team get the job done, or will we have to go back to the chopping block once again? It's a 1-1 draw in the first leg after only 45 minutes, realistically. Another 90 minutes coming up now. Lindstrom is out with a red card for this game, unfortunately, so we're going to do that, and hopefully we can get the job done at Goodison Park. No, we lose 2-1 on the day, 3-2 on aggregate. Now we just got to pray we get back into the top 4, or we might be getting sent down to Europe again. And despite not advancing in the Champions League too far, we still get Champions League football. Chelsea fumbled the league, and Manchester City came back and won the league again in dominant fashion with 13 points. And Chelsea really fumbled. They finished in 6th. That's actually kind of insane. What happened to them? They completely fell apart there. Everton, we finished in 4th. We sit in the Champions League spot by 1 point. So there's a miracle for that. Valise had 32 goals and 1 assist. Let's get into the new season. Let's spend some money or bring in some amazing free agents. And for once, we're not going to make a single signing this summer, not even a free agent. I did try to make 1 free agent signing in Jensen. He decided to reject us. Alonso next season, if we get Champions League football next season, he will come to the squad. 1,000,000%. Messi's regen. 100,000,000%. Halfway through the season, and we are sitting in 7th. We never seem to find our way into the top 4. We always fall short somehow. But we are still fighting. We are 3 points off the top 4, which is Leicester City. Manchester United are actually winning the league by 1 point at the moment. In the FA Cup, we have Manchester United. In the Carabao Cup semifinals, we have Manchester City. As far as the Champions League goes, we finished first in the group stage where we had Lazio, and Leverkusen, where we won all 6 games. Undefeated, not dropping a single point. All 18 belongs to us. In the round of 16, we get rewarded with Real Madrid. Where the heck? Who finished first in Real? Oh, of course, Bayern Munich. Okay, so Bayern Munich is still haunting me. This time they're just haunting me with Real Madrid. We have Real Madrid in the round of 16. That is insane. All right, well, let's see what that goes. Oh, contracts probably flip. As far as the Carabao Cup goes, you see there, we pretty much spent the whole entire time in Manchester almost. We lost the first leg and then drew the second leg, so we lost by 1 goal in aggregate there. We drew to them in the league and beat them in the league, so we have our number there. We now have Real Madrid in the Champions League, and I can't wait to lose this one. They don't have Mbappe, thankfully. Let's see, can these... Oh, Valise is up to 92. Bacchio's up to 91. Lewis is 89. Okay, this team should. The weak points is Mainu, Brantwaite, and Davis. And Ansu Fati. I don't think Ansu Fati is playing. I think it's Newerton playing again. Those 3, 4 technically are the weak points. They will improve on next season if we somehow don't win the Champions League. I don't think we will. First leg, we win. Ansu Fati scoring to make it 1-0 to Everton. Second leg here against Everton. Bakayoko's tired as heck. Singo is injured as heck. This is not looking good for a second leg. Please get the job done. And another 1-0 win. Bakayoko in the second minute. It's enough to knock off Real Madrid, win to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. The game must think I absolutely love Manchester, because we have Manchester United in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Singo is still out injured. I don't know how serious it is, but I'm assuming it's probably an ACL, something like that, or a broken toe. And we win, or we not win, we lose the first leg 2-1. It could have been 3-1. But we lose 2-1. There's still a chance of hope. Second leg, Rico Lewis is extremely tired. Can we get the comeback, or are we knocked? Oh my lord, we actually get the comeback. Valise and Araujo. Araujo? Who the heck is Araujo, and why is he playing? Who is Araujo? Oh, Araujo is the center back. We're playing for Stingo. That's right. He's the one that got chosen. We win 2-0, 3-2. We're into the semifinals of the Champions League. Miracles can happen. The semifinals of the Champions League. It's us versus PSG. Roma versus Atletico Madrid. First leg, Singo still out with the injury. Valise is tired up front. Can we somehow get the job done? I think this is where we come into an impossible path, a brick wall, you should say. We lose 2-1 on the first day, on the first leg. Second leg of the Champions League. Can we do another miracle? I don't think it'll happen this time, and it won't. It nearly did, but it won't happen this time. Despite a brace from Valise, Mbappe, and Minta send Everton packing. So close, but still so far away. We at least still finish in the top 4, so we have Champions League football again next season, and this should be the minimum. This should be the standard. Is Champions League football. I don't know how many times I can do this, to be honest. Man City win the league this time, only by 9 points. Top goal scorers, Valise, 32 goals. Bakayoko, 22. Lindstrom with 14. Newerton with 13. Why is he playing? He's up to 86 overall, though. So he is playing, and he deserves to be playing because he's been in Ansu Fati. But both their time might be over next season. It has been done, Messi's region. Welcome to the squad. You're going to play in an unorthodox position. No, you will play left winger. So welcome to your new left winger role. Halfway through the season, and this was our Champions League group. You can see we finished second in the group stages. First is Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich just seemed to like to haunt us. They finished in second this time. We get Juventus in the Champions League. We could have had AZ if Bayern Munich didn't finish first. We could have had AZ, but we get Juventus. Not the easiest, but definitely not the hardest that we had so far in round 16. Top goal scorer so far is Valise with 14. 0 assists, of course. Why wouldn't he have any assists? We sit 6th in the Premier League, 2 points off the top 4. Theme of this whole entire rebuild. First leg of the Champions League here against Juventus. We lose 1-0. To come from behind once again. I almost said welcome back like as an intro. Second leg here, and we don't have enough players on the bench. That's fine. It's whatever. Second leg. We come from behind. Singo in the 86th minute to send us to the next stages of the Champions League. Next round. We're into the quarterfinals of the Champions League once again. Champions League quarterfinal action. It's against AC Milan. I almost said Everton. What is going on? Can you tell I've been recording this for way too long? We lose the first leg 2-1. Darwin Nunez scored a brace. We got to come back from behind once again. Second leg here against AC Milan. Can we come from back from... Can we come from behind once again in the Champions League? We win 3-0. We are through. We beat AC Milan in the second leg. Goodison Park is a home stadium to go to. Bayern Munich are out of the Champions League. Athletic Club might be able to beat Real Madrid. PSG versus Man City. Oh, don't give me PSG or Man City in the semifinals, please. Give me Roma. Give me Roma. FA Cup semifinal action as well here against Arsenal. It's us versus Roma in the Champions League semifinal here. The first leg. I don't know who's not available on the bench, but we lose 2-1 once again. Gonna have to come from behind for the 50th time in the Champions League. Second leg here against Roma. I really don't know what's going on with the bench, but we win 2-0. Lindstrom with the brace to send Everton to the Champions League final, where we'll be taking on either Athletic Club or PSG. Oh my god, we're going to have to take on PSG, aren't we? And we do get PSG in the Champions League final. They sent us packing last season. We get to get our revenge on them this season for the trophy, for the bread. This is their starting 11. This is the entire team going into it. They're 18. They have Xavi, Simmons, Mbappe, Kai, Rabiot, Moretti, McAllister, Cowell, Torres, Antonio Silva, and Hakimi. As the starting 11, we're obviously Donnarumma in the mix as well. We have Savio, Bucarlino, Dilouv, Fai, Aguilar, and Bowman all on the bench, assumingly all regions and all decently regions, obviously, of PSG. We are going to go to the team. This is our starting 11, and it's actually quite insane, to be honest. We have Veliz, Alonso, Lindstrom, Bakayoko, Vermeeren. Ruiz is the center defensive mid that gets to start. Davis, Janssen, Singo, Lewis, and Restes. It's one shot for this team to win the entire trophy. This is the end of the rebuild. Let's see if we can finally win it at the Schalke Stadium. Going to Germany. And here we go, the Champions League final. This team, most of these guys have been here for a long time. Singo joined a couple seasons ago. Ruiz, obviously one of the newer boys that we didn't really get to see flourish. Lindstrom was an OG player. Was he an OG player? Yeah, he was an OG player, obviously on loan in real life. I believe so. If I'm not mistaken, he was on loan in real life at least. I could be wrong. No, he is. Yeah, because I did transfer. So, yeah, he's on loan in real life. He wasn't a permanent player, but now Lindstrom, he's actually the most OG Everton player on this team, if you think about it, because everybody else is newer. Lindstrom has been here the longest. I don't know what I just did, but I somehow, Bakayoko whipping it across. It won't go to anybody. Vermeeren, down to Janssen. Lindstrom, over the top, over to Alonso, down to Bakayoko. And towards Veliz. Did he stay on side? He strayed offside. Did he get back on? He did. And Veliz to open the scoring! And Veliz will put Everton up 1-0 here in the Champions League final. And he'll celebrate straight dead smack in the middle of the PSG fans. Have some of that. Torres for PSG. Veliz chasing that down, getting it back in Lindstrom now into space for Bakayoko with Torres up the field. Bakayoko can run. He'll find Alonso, and PSG are going to start breaking down. Everton 2, Paris Saint-Germain 0, 41 minutes in. And the floodgates might have just opened up here for us. Janssen, McAllister, Moretti, they're trying to get one back right before the break. It's now out wide to Hakimi. Hakimi into McAllister. McAllister into Rabiot, the captain for PSG. McAllister, Kai. He'll get one back for PSG right before the break. It's 2-1. We're back into level terms. And halftime, we are up 2-1 at the break. Another corner here. Moretti. Restes will have an easier save for that. Can we get a quicker counterattack? No, we can't. That pass deflected. Moretti now for Paris Saint-Germain. Into Rabiot. Now McAllister. A lot of Everton players. A lot of pink shirts in the back, though. Moretti. McAllister. Kylian. Restes. Fantastic save. Lewis. Half clearance, but only into the midfield for Paris Saint-Germain. Now Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe. Rabiot. Back to Mbappe. Janssen. Vital interception. And now here comes Alonso. And here comes Veliz. We can't pass that. Oh, my Lord. That is actually so annoying. Torres. Kylian Mbappe. Delo. Kylian. Savio. It's 2-2. They level it up. Torres. They're teeing up for the last attack here. Regular time. It's Moretti. It's into Xavi. It's Xavi into Mbappe. And Kylian Mbappe will get the last attack. And Kylian Mbappe might have just won it for PSG. Everton, we're up 2-0. We crumble completely. Maybe one more chance for us to get an equalizer off a kickoff. But it's looking like Everton are going to choke it on the final day. Murillo, out wide to Newton. It's plus 2 minutes. It's this or nothing, and it might be nothing. It will be nothing. As long as you can get the ball up the field just a little bit and don't even have to get up the field. PSG do the comeback. They win the Champions League. Everton, they fall short despite the fact going up 2-0 in the first half. That goal right before the break for Kai was the most important for Paris Saint-Germain. They get the winner. Kylian Mbappe scores the winner. And Paris Saint-Germain will win the Champions League in Everton. This is now a failed rebuild. Come back next week for another rebuild, but for now, we at least got them up to Champions League football. Might have failed in not winning it, but we did better than Everton will ever do in their history. Leave a like, subscribe, and peace out.